And we're dressed hilariously, ridiculously. Alright, Kim should be around here somewhere. This is day 4, I think. Which is exciting. Hello, Kim.
Yes?
Good morning. Hold still a second. Try to smell Kim. The lieutenant's posture becomes rigid and uncomfortable as you lean forward and sniff the area just above his shoulder blade. The lieutenant is fastidious as a cat in matters of his personal upkeep, and yet, in the folds of his jacket, you can just perceive the stale and acrid traces of oil rags, transmission fluid, and brake pads. Wait. There's something else there. Something that sets your GABA receptors aflutter. The lieutenant's aftershave, a common drugstore brand. Strong hints of pine needle. We just sniffed Kim. What sort of ideological picture do these smells paint? Tough to say.
Do you need something, detective?
I was just wondering what brand of aftershave you use.
It's nothing fancy, just plain old Tiger Super Special. Are you thinking of, you know?
He gestures towards his cheeks with an invisible razor. Lose these bad boys? No way. Do you think I should? Lieutenant considers your mutton chops for a long moment. A slight grimace crosses his face.
Sorry, I'm really no expert on this sort of thing. Was there something else you wish to discuss?
Okay, we'll leave it at that. That's pretty funny. Does this lady have anything to say?
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the
Oh.
waves don't keep you up at night.
We could ask her to wash the jacket.
Can I help you with?
I wonder if she can wash it.
I can wash it for you. But it's going to take about a half an hour. Think you can...
Hell yeah. No, we must run around ceaselessly. It would be torture to stay put.
I could use a breather before another rainy day begins.
Okay, yeah, I'll wait.
Hand it over then, and I'll see what I can do.
Sitting around in the rain first thing in the morning.
Must say, I'm proud of
Oh
it.
yeah.
It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. I hope you take better care of it than its last owner.
Oh nice. Okay, let's take it to the drunk guy and see if he wants to take it. Oh, he's down here. Hello, do you want your jacket back? I wonder what he's gonna say.
Tequila sunset.
Fresh
My
wash.
jacket?
Yeah, the one you had me clean this the seagull stuff off of. A look of consternation crosses the man's face. He looks at you, then at his bottle, then back at you.
What the fuck are you talking about, Tequila?
What the F are you talking about? You said you wanted your jacket.
Rosemary, what the fuck is Tequila talking about?
Aye, that's the jacket you stole 2 weeks ago. From the kid who was making it with his gal on the beach.
That's disgusting. I've never done anything like that in my life. You're both delusional.
He scoffs.
Found. That's medium concept stuff.
I'm calling it. It's neurological. You're lost. I'm keeping the jacket for myself. I went through some dark stuff to get this for you. Take the frickin' jacket. Okay, I'll just keep it.
That shit is so medium concept, I wouldn't touch it with a stick. But yeah, okay. I'm sure it looks great on you.
It's an okay jacket, if you're into that look. Okay, let's step aside for a second. I have something I want to talk about.
Oh. Okay. What do you want to talk about, Kim?
I've been meaning to have a little chat with you about your sense of style.
My style? What about it?
It's, well, a little eclectic, don't you think? How would you even describe what you're wearing?
Formal apologetic. Hobo chic. Superstar casual. Regular core. Office harbinger. They're just clothes, Kim. Who cares? Hobo chic. That's me. Hobo chic.
Well, I can't say it doesn't fit you. Still, you might try branching out a little. You know the expression, the clothes make the man. The right outfit in the right situation can make all the difference in the world.
Okay. You're a short-dressed man. We could be style buddies.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, detective.
A warm smile.
Anyway, we should probably get back to the case. Let's go.
Wow. The nicest way possible, he was like, don't dress like a weirdo. Get yourself organized. You can't build communism. Oh. Roam the streets to sniff out some comrades. I guess we're gonna smell everybody. That sounds fun. Alright, so what do we need to do today? We need to go back to the Whirling Rags. Oh, we need to talk to the library. We need to call the library. I forgot when it opens. It's 8 o'clock. Maybe we can try calling them at 10. 2 signatures for Everard. Isobel and Leanne. Okay, we need to get the signatures too. Okay, let's talk to them. Actually, let's check my document, because I think I had one person sign them. But... white envelope. Leanne has signed. Isobel has not. Okay, so I think this is Isobel.
Our tenant, the policeman. Eh? What's this about? Come now. I can't read all the scribble. What it says.
Everyone wants
Huh.
youth center.
I might be half blind, but it looks like I see Lillian's name is already here. The girl is too trusting. Either way, I won't sign union papers.
Okay, she says she doesn't want to sign it.
I've seen it. Then the
So this happened before, but I don't really remember. She says something with a slight hesitation there. You may still be able to convince her.
Eh? What's this about?
Let's try this.
A deal with who? It's the Deborder Union, isn't it?
I mean, yes.
Oh, so what do the Clare brothers want? Nothing good ever comes from paperwork. In my your mind just flips back and
Okay, so she's still saying the same thing, and she doesn't want to sign it.
Your mind just flips back and
Oh, so we can't convince her just by asking her again. How do we convince her, though? Or is that, like...
Just this is pretty much a non-place. Not much. Something.
So,
No.
I get the feeling you're leaving stuff out. What else is going on?
Well, there's that music. Music from across the sea.
Okay, they might be talking about the
It started a
club
few
guys.
days ago, and now it's blasting even through the night. And now, suspicious-looking people are sneaking around the church. I don't like that.
Yeah, we don't have an option to try to convince her, so I don't know if we can actually get that done. It's kind of a problem. What was the other thing we need to do? Okay, we found her badge, so we can go back and talk to Joyce. Right? Let's see. Dock worker shift card. Our badge is here somewhere, right? Yeah. Okay, that's us. Look at our young, beautiful face. Okay, can we fast travel? She is... Joyce is over here, so we want to travel to the Martinez waterfront. And get some things done. Alright, let's go in here. I want to give Gart the bird. The stuffed bird that we found. Crossing things off our list. Taking care of business. Oh, wait. No, something about this bunch doesn't smell right. What do you mean? Aren't they ever, guys? They are, but they don't seem too keen to talk with you, do they? No, they don't. Glenn seems to be contemplating grievous bodily harm while he massages his raw knuckles. In the far back, Eugene is doing his best to ignore you. Meanwhile, Fat Angus keeps shooting you furtive glances, mumbling uneasily to himself. And from his perch at the end of the table, Titus Hardy himself stares at you with a cold contempt that makes you want to leave the cafeteria straight away. Besides, you're pretty sure they consider themselves social democrats. Alright, I guess I'll look elsewhere then. Oh, my thought. Yes.
It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper, light and low. A god who's very, very silent. Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room, a candy wrapper falling on dry grass, a drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. In fact, you haven't heard the Col du Mama Dakwa, but you have discovered that you have amazing hearing. It must be the only part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out. Keep listening.
Wow. +3 perception. -1 encyclopedia, but we don't need encyclopedia at all. That's sick. Wasteland of Reality. So those will be interesting. Oh, we have a skill point. Oh, then let's put something in there. So that's communism. Indirect modes of taxation. I'm not interested in that one. I think we wanted to do the precarious world. All red checks fail for 4 hours. Alright, let's give it a chance. While it's still early in the day, maybe we can get some conversations done. Cafeteria window. Perception, it's not time yet. Okay, so we can't do that yet. Hey, it's the dude that we talked to before.
Hi, gendarme. Another rendezvous.
There he is again, in the smoker on the balcony, right here in the whirling wax. You're here.
I am. So are you. What brings you here?
Composure. What are you doing here?
Admiring the atmosphere.
He smiles.
What about you, officer?
This is where I'm gonna go down in history. I'm gonna sing karaoke. I'm here to kick some butt and solve the case I'm working on.
Really? Well, I look forward to that.
He raises a glass to you. He straightens up, curious. Tell me again about that muscular type who came to investigate the crime.
Oh yes, let's see. He knocked on my door a few days after the lynching. I think he was going through the entire building, asking questions.
What did you tell him?
Nothing. That I didn't see anything.
And he believed you?
Why shouldn't he?
Did you tell him about your friend?
What friend?
He takes another drag of cigarette before knitting his brows. Your Sunday friend, the witness.
No, I don't think it came up.
What did he look like?
Muscular, handsome.
He shrugs nonchalantly.
Like one of those military types.
Was he alone?
Yes, but he was speaking to someone on his earpiece.
Earpiece?
Yes, you know those tiny speaker microphones that fancy security guards sometimes wear.
What was he saying?
Just reporting back whatever I was telling him.
Besides muscular, did he have any other traits?
Oh, let me think. He had an accent. He sounded like one of those mercenaries.
He turns his eyes upward in recollection.
He sounded vaguely Oranese. No, not vaguely, scratch that. He sounded definitely Oranese.
He closes his eyes. Okay.
Sure. Anything else on your mind?
His lazy eyes stroll over to your face. I met your Sunday friend.
You did? And how did you like him?
A small smile adorns his face. I didn't like him as much as I like you. He didn't. I didn't. He was a government official. I don't trust governments.
Oh, shoot.
He bursts out laughing.
Why not?
Who is he?
A visitor from the first world. He's not like you and me, gendarme. He can always return.
He smiles, and his smile seems melancholic. Return where?
To his opportunities in Occident, sur la clé. Still, his coming and going brings some life to the village.
He breathes in and keeps his lung filled for a moment before letting it out.
Or is it just money? I don't know.
He stares at the bar. What are you two?
Friends, I told you. Sunday friends. Friends who like to get together from time to time.
What does it mean, a Sunday friend?
That he won't be there when times get tough, I guess.
Is that even a friend?
It is. On Sundays.
He smiles. Why was he staying at your place in the middle of the night?
He has keys. And he likes the view. To the sea, I mean.
He waves gently with his cigarette holding hand. Alright.
What about me, gendarme?
Composure. Okay.
Bye-bye, gendarme.
Let's see what we have for composure. Maybe we can find out a little bit more about this guy. Oh, look at my sweet jacket. Whoa. Look at my jacket. Sweat like a pig. Okay, so we need composure. 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 Uh-huh. That's it. Okay, I have +2 composure, excuse me.
Hi again, Gendarme.
72! No! Fail! That sucks! What? I freaking rolled a 3. Ah. Angry.
Bye-bye, Gendarme.
Dang, that freaking sucks. Oh well. Okay. Anyways, let's do what we came here for. Give him a bird.
Can I help you?
Here's a bird.
What is this thing?
The man takes a stuffed bird. It's no biggie. I just thought it would look nice on the wall. I'm that kind of cop.
What, the interior decorating kind? You know, I'm sorry. This is actually a nice bird. A competent piece of taxidermy.
He inspects the bird somewhat suspiciously, then mellows.
I can fix it to the plaque and have a new bird in the establishment, I guess?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Thank you. I'm gonna go with thank you.
He hesitates. This was mostly about the effing cardio. Massive cardio here. You'll live till 90, or you'll get a heart attack from running.
I feel good about our work here today.
The lieutenant nods.
It's all about the little things, like bringing people random stuffed animals.
That's true. Well, that was nice. We did a nice thing. Alright. I don't know how we're gonna do the signature thing. Find out who the lady driver is. Okay, call the library. Call the library, can't forget. Prove your authority to Titus Hardy? That's so hard. Oh, we need to find Morel. We didn't find them yet. Okay, so we need to do that for sure. The case needs an official name. Finding the right line makes take some time, okay. Ask Kuno if he knows anything about the victim's clothes in the trash. Okay. So there's a couple things we could do. I think what we want to do is probably talk to Joyce. Yeah. I don't think we can recheck the thing with Titus Hardy. Warded door. I think that's inside the building. I don't remember where that is, but we can try that again. Cargo container door. Oh, we can redo this now. Rhetoric. Impossible. Our rhetoric is really bad, I think, right? Let's see. Rhetoric? Rhetoric? Oh my gosh, our rhetoric is friggin' 0. So it's only at a 1. Oh well. It's probably best not to waste time on that then.
Oh, hello, dear.
Alright. Okay, let's head to Joyce. We can spend some time talking to her. Okie dokie. Alright, let me check the map one more time. Okay, so she's over here. We have to walk all around. We'll pass by the bookstore on the way, I think. And I guess... Oh yeah, this store. Is it not open yet? It's only 8 o'clock. Oh, it's open. Okay, good. We gotta tell her about her husband. And what we found.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. Okay, but please, only a few...
Oh, she's not... We can't tell her? Maybe we need to call the library first.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
Okay. Guess we can't do that yet. Okay, we'll come back after with our conversation with Joyce, and then we can call the library. Do do do. Do 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 do. Bum bum bum. Bum 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 bum. The sea breeze carries more than salt. Meat, not rotten, not fresh, grilled. There, do you smell that? Smell what? Can you not detect that inimitable whiff of dissatisfaction and relentlessness, that sense that the world is in need of dramatic and even violent reordering? Close your eyes, take a deep breath. What do you smell? The first thing that strikes you is the overwhelming brine. Imagine yourself underwater, a 100-legged arthropod, scuttling along the murky silt at the bottom of the sea. But then, the unmistakable reek of seagull stuff hits you, buoyed along on the air currents, an acrid melody atop moldering cords of wood rot and heavy fuel oil.
Everything in order, detective?
The lieutenant gives you a quizzical look. It's kind of a personal errand. I'm smelling for communists, Kim. I'm working on developing my political consciousness.
You're developing your... You know what? I just leave you to it. Carry on, detective.
Lieutenant lacks your highly developed political olfactory cortex. The smell is undeniable and is coming from the balcony up there. You mean from Cindy? Certainment. Certainment? A precocious communist youth. A symbol of kinder, more hopeful future. Now's your chance to establish contact with your revolutionary brothers and sisters. Okay, guess we gotta talk to her.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Can't you tell? I haven't really...
Yeah? Thanks.
Oh, here it is.
I'm sure the inspiration
Hey,
will come
sister.
to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
Let's talk politics for a minute.
And what do you know about politics?
She squints at you suspiciously. My nose told me that you're also a communist. We should team up, join forces.
Well, well. Sounds like quite the snout you've got there.
Your olfactory department wants you to know that I accept no responsibility for whatever this line of interrogation leads you.
Sure. I know someone who'd love to talk that ideological stuff. You're looking for Steban.
Who's Steban?
A right communist who runs a mega cool and very secret meeting.
Do you know where to find him?
I might.
Will you tell me?
No.
She pretends to think about it for a moment. Then lets slip a sigh that seems to suggest this turn was utterly predictable. Is it money you want? Here, take some. Guess I should just give up then. Nothing ever works out for me. Just tell me what you want me to do. A wicked grin extends across her face. Oh no, I said the wrong thing.
Oink for me, piggy. Just once.
Come on, this is no way to treat your revolutionary brother.
Wrong. This is exactly how I treat my little brother.
Okay, oink.
There, that wasn't so bad, was it?
Lieutenant, needless to say, is not impressed.
Sounds like you're really
I don't have any pride,
serious
Kim.
about meeting
Just accept that.
Steban. It's touching, sort of. Steban's group meets only at night in an old room in the
Oh, tonight.
apartment
Okay,
here.
gotta remember tonight.
It just so happens you're in luck. Their weekly meeting is tonight.
We're gonna go to the secret communist party.
Poke your snout around sometime after 10 p.m.
After 10,
You
ooh.
might just find them.
What else can you tell me about this Steban?
Just that he's a real communist.
The
Not like
real
play
communist.
acting you've been doing. The rest, you'll have to see for yourself.
That's very helpful. Thank you, Cindy.
Hold on. You didn't think it would be that easy, did you?
Hmm?
See, Steban's a bit on the paranoid
Uh-oh.
side. He's got all these mega secret passphrases to keep out infiltrators and the like. You can't join the meeting without one.
Do you know the passphrase?
Sure, I do. Steban trusts me.
But you're not gonna tell me, are you?
Why would I? That would be so boring. Now, let's see if you're half as dedicated a communist as you say you are.
Uh-oh. I'm not I'm not as half dedicated.
Off with you then.
She makes a lazy shooing motion with her dangling hand. Okay, well, I wonder if I'll get murdered. That will be an interesting adventure. Hello, Joyce.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I found my badge, by the way.
By love, you did.
She inspects the piece of blue plastic, her eyes scanning from left to right. Passed observantly, like an electronic printer.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man of high qualification. The situation is precarious. What can I help you with, Lieutenant Freighter?
How about you share your information on the lynching, now that you've seen his badge?
Yes, please.
The goalposts have moved, Lieutenant. In the absence of the badge, I have informed my employer there will be a probe.
What?
I cannot rescind that promise.
She smells
To
apologetic
my
jelly.
knowledge, the drivers are still at the roundabout. I will tell you everything I know when you've finished with them.
She smiles apologetically. This was your plan all along.
My plan is to share information. The only way to do that now is by telling my employers you've kept your end, which I hope you will. Because let me tell you, we are in dire waters.
Alright, fine. How bad can the info she has be?
The sooner the probe is finished, the sooner I can share crucial information with you. Now, is there anything I can do for you in the meanwhile? Tea, perhaps?
I spoke with the lorryman at the roundabout.
Word has traveled, yes, but nothing of real substance has surfaced yet, I gather.
She smiles and then explains.
Wild Pines has eyes on the intersection, but not ears.
It appears we are being monitored every step we take, colleague. Did we have any other business here?
Lieutenant shrugs. I gotten some more questions about reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Jamais vu thought complete. Oh, that's sick. Dolores Day +2. Conceptual edition. Okay, conceptual edition and Esprit de Corps. Okay, we'll keep talking about the other subjects first.
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
She put her finger to her lips and then points at you. Too late for what?
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind. What's the big time?
The revolution.
She says. Huh, what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
That's a tragedy.
Yes. The Red Deluge.
That's a lot of people.
The Insulindian Deluge, they call it.
I had a deluge too. In my head. Point to your little head.
Yes. An acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism.
She blinks her green eyes.
Exacerbated means made worse.
Anyone else got shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Cowardly, I guess?
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
We got the mineral rights.
The liberals got the mineral rights.
She lifts her to the sky.
And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
then inland at the crumbling city. Okay, and by liberals you mean?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective, or the remaining gentry, the beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
So she's talking about, like, the history right before, like, our present time, pretty much, and how stuff went down. How did liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
You just the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground.
She stomps her rubber-booted foot.
The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
So these were all the people, yeah, just like what the guy was saying, the Sunday friend.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol and also the world. These guys are strong.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
If I'm always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then heck yes I am, and also not.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint.
She bows.
It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
When was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution?
She smiles mischievously.
Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
What did this Tsarath do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
So interesting how in-depth the history of everything in this world is. What came next?
Why? You and I, officer.
She spreads her arms.
Our lives in the zone of control.
Raincoat flapping in the wind. What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
So we're basically under rule of this like combination of nations, right?
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
So these are the two political groups, I guess, that were like in charge before the coalition. What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
So it's been like this for 50 years, I guess?
43 years.
Wow.
Hard to fathom, I know.
So almost like it almost like half of a life, right? So it's been a while. What have we been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Really?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
She curtsies.
Welcome to reality, baby.
Nice. Get a reality lowdown. Let's see what it says. Reality lowdown. Oh, I don't see it. Okay, well, that's okay. Why is it still... Oh, the dot went away. Okay. What would you have done differently?
Good question.
She cranes her neck.
What would you have done differently?
No, her first. I asked you, who are you in all this?
And I asked you.
Passless
Past
detective.
less detective of the citizens' militia. What insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death thing. Would have sought a medical solution. Sarah. I would have killed more. I would have made off with the mineral rights. I don't know what I would have done differently. I mean, I don't know.
And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the coalition took the city.
Cold runs down your spine. She just shows the water. Probably. The wind stops. There is silence on the dark water of the Martinez Inlet. A dog barks. A gunshot echoes off the walls of some distant building.
No, almost certainly. The commune would have forced you. Such was the fate of the undecided.
That's enough about the
They are
times.
what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
What is this acute encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
Oh, I see. So she's saying we might have that.
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
Hmm. She nods slowly. What this boils down to is this reality thing is stupid. Blow this joint, grab a bottle, and drain that stuff right down your throat. Wait. This reality thing is the only game in town. It's probably in your interest not to blow it. I have somewhere to party right now. Wipe that urge from your mind and get back to reality. She stares at you, head tilted to the side with a slightly concerned look on her face. What's this? Okay. Conceptualization. Spirit decor. I want to know what you are. She hums. She won't maneuver her way out of this one. What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile.
She says with a sudden flash
A
of teeth.
traitor, a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine. It's sharp. Dios mío. Draw across. A liberal! Cool, I'll liberate pretty hard myself. What's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
A liberal!
Yes.
She nods slowly.
I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. Perhaps you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra anymore. Not in broad daylight.
She looks into your eye.
Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. I forgive you.
I do hope so.
She bows.
I hope we are able to remain collegial despite my monstrousness. The Ultras didn't have anything against the king, or the commune, you see. It was just business. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
She turns her gaze to the Delta. Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean, lights go up and motor carriages circulate the tracks.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps.
Her ears chime as she nods.
My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
The lieutenant puts down his notes and gives her a look. You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife.
She closes her eyes and then opens them again.
Now, shall we return to reality?
What is this?
A bird?
She tilts her head.
A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing.
Some sort of drill hunter? No, wait.
Joyce raises her eyebrows.
You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
Are you saying I'm ruined?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah.
She spreads her arms almost as wide.
This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
She looks around. What is Rue de Saint-Ghislain? 33A.
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, a young girl in odd clothes gives Joyce the evil eye, a red paintbrush held to her throat. You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat, in a sawing motion.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to Cindy the skull.
The girl in the old lady rags?
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. Simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat, all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next?
She pauses to take a long, leisurely sip of tea. Alright, so conceptualization and spirit decor. We can try spirit decor first.
Been of assistance.
First, since that is the lower chance one. Alright, put that on. This is the same one, same thing, right? RCM patrol cloak. Disco blazer. Suggestion. Spirit decor visual calculus. Okay, that's better, I think. Bonus from thoughts. I don't have anything bringing it down, right? Let's just double check. Okay, cool. Alright. Reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Alright, 58%. Oh, snake eyes, that sucks. It remains a mystery. What do you mean by this something close? This isn't about you, it's about reality. Okay, well that sucks. Alright, let's do conceptualization. So we need that. Okay. So we're good on that front. Let's do it. 97! Are you serious? I'm angry. The only thing we could have gotten that would made us fail. A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves swoop away slowly, that's all. The doubt is fully formed in your head, and the alien feeling persists, yet something's still missing. You have finished mulling over the jamais vu thought, but your conceptualization skills are not nuanced enough to make sense of it. So annoying. Okay, I want to do this one. Let's do conceptualization. Where is it? This one. Level it up.
Glad to have been of assistance.
Wait, I can question it now, right? Okay, good. Just in case.
The little that I know.
Okay, cool.
Anything else?
Alright, let's try it again.
More lessons in basic reality?
I was gonna die if I rolled snake eyes again. What is all this? The scent, the sound, the air? What world is this?
What world?
The fading pearls of her eyes look to the sea.
The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water. What do you see?
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
She concludes.
There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
What is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
I don't feel like I have the whole picture yet.
Oh, you want a picture of the world?
She raises her finger to her lips.
There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
Oh, so there's not like a world map. How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
Inside sideways? What shape is this world?
We used to think it was a sphere, But that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
For now, we're viewing the world from the inside sideways. ORG, Occident Retrograde.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark grey corona.
Yes.
She pauses.
Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
A cold fear seeps into you. Oh my gosh, wait, what the heck are you telling me? The pale, and what do you mean corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness.
So, like, we have land, and then there's, like a sea of nothingness in between the different places.
I am sorry, dear.
She looks around.
It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
So this is really interesting because she's explaining that, like, the physical world that they live in is not the same as, like, the world in real life, right? So, like, we have our planet and we're on Earth and we're, like, floating in space. But this is, like, completely different. Fractured Corona doesn't feel like it's going to bring anyone together.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Well, if you say it's disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
The cold seeps into you. The air is heavy with 80% humidity. Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there on whatever all this is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both. Silently, he adjusts his glasses. You said pale. What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. We do have a case to attend to.
The lieutenant looks at his watch.
Of course, Lieutenant.
She bows and turns to
Try
you.
something else.
What do you mean it's not part of reality?
Ma'am.
He turns to her again.
You're dealing with a very sensitive and impressionable police officer who is still recovering from a recent medical episode.
The lieutenant's right. Let's change topics.
She gives you a little wink.
What do you want to know? Anything.
You just sneak back later when the lieutenant's not here, unless you can convince him to step aside. Oh, Kim trusts me. Nice. Volition 4.
Glad to have been of assistance.
Okay, let's try Volition. I really want to talk about the pale. Either that, if we fail that, we can just come again in the evening when he's not around. Volition. Okay. I don't know if we have anything that boosts that. Nope. Volition. Reaction speed, sovereign prayer, suggestion, visual calculus. Okay. Well, let's give it our best shot.
You're back.
Oop.
More lessons in basic reality.
Alright, 83. Whew, good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene. Kim, can I talk to the man alone for a second?
Fine.
He steps away. with his notes. See? What can he do? You're a grown man. Now, what is the Pale?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant.
Yes.
Okay.
She concedes.
The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass.
The most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. Okay, so what I'm imagining is like the islas are like these different like spaces of matter, right? Like if you were to imagine where we are right now as a planet and then outer space, the Pale is like outer space around like the existing isla / planet. So, like, the Pale is, like, the ocean between the different islas. What is an isla?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the Pale. Also,
Yeah, landmass.
isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7.
Yeah, so imagine you're living on, like, one island, and then the Pale is the, like, ocean around you, and then there's 7 other islands. And those landmasses are the islas.
Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde.
And Insulinde is...
An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say?
She stops.
Each is perishing and dear.
An oceanic isla. Interesting. It comprises mostly of water. Yeah, because each isla is like an island of matter, right? Okay, what is the Pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
Is it here? Look around. What are its physical qualities? If we're surrounded by the Pale, how do you get from isla to isla? How much Pale is there compared to the world? Is it here?
No, Detective. We're safe.
She points to the sea.
It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the isla.
And there?
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the Pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called Porch Collapse.
The area of transition in between the world and the Pale.
Imagine a grey coronal mist. Cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
She closes her eyes and breathes out heavily. You hear your pulse rise, and the air feels caustic and cold suddenly. What are its physical qualities?
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
The number barrier. So, like, it's not even, like, the opposite of matter, right? It's just, like, a full other entity, like nothing. So, like, if matter is, like, 1, and then 0 is... 0 is, like... 0 is still a something, right? But then... something else that's just, like, not... Yeah. I don't know how else to explain it, I guess. The way that I understand it. If we're surrounded by the Pale, how do you get from isla to isla?
Oh, it is so difficult for us.
Her lungs deflate. Her words sound like a sigh. A squall of birds, hardware operating in the harbor. Firm, self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path.
It's possible to force dimensions on the Pale. Interesting.
But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost or having our minds damaged.
See, it's so weird. Like, it just distorts, like, your entire being.
Extensively.
Oh.
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
What does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
You're not a civilian passenger?
No, Lieutenant Dubois. I'm entreprenetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Do lorry drivers pass the Pale?
Yes. Carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
That makes sense. You should ask the Pale driver about this. See what she says. Yeah, the one lady who's, like, very wispy, and then her thoughts are, like... Everything she was saying was, like, something about to do in the past, right? Are you over-radiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
An acidic smile on her lips. It's getting worse every year. What is entreprenetic?
Entreprenetics.
She corrects.
Is the scientific study of the Pale.
Oh.
Or a recent iteration of it by way of
Interesting.
grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
Did they cross it, the Western Plain?
There are signs of pretermodern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
Interesting. What has entreprenetics changed then?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
Aerostatic craft.
Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely.
If we do not?
Then they don't.
You just get stuck. That's crazy. How much Pale is there compared to the world?
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter. And the ratio is slipping.
Slipping how? To our detriment, or...?
What do you think, detective?
She looks you in the eye. It's shrinking. There's more and more of the world. It's growing. There's more and more of the Pale.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
I mean, it's gonna happen, right? Just the end of existence. That's very interesting. I mean, it's the same thing with reality, right? Like, the sun will explode in, like, how many billion years or something?
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge.
Yeah. It's like the same thing about death, right? Like, no one likes to talk about it, or they feel uncomfortable talking about it, but it's something inevitable that's gonna happen to all of us.
I suggest you do the same.
Gulp.
It doesn't look like you're doing the same. The suggestion was meant in earnest, Detective. Live life.
Yeah. Let's return to reality.
Yes, sweet reality.
She stomps her foot.
But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
Nothing, just alcohol fumes and a blackout. Sometimes I sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good. I'm getting a sense of who I am, but no, I didn't know this.
Beyond curious. Tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
It's terrifying. You were right, it's Cisco. It will end all life. That we continue to persist is a testament to our faith in one another. Its advance can only be stopped with immediate, total, ruthless communism. Powerful anti-communist force, perhaps too powerful, but still, they have it coming. I'm worried. I have to say, it doesn't sound very liberal to me. I don't know how you all survived with it. It's a huge accomplishment. What do I think of it? What do I think of it? I mean, we should just live, right? Her eyes tense. Crow's feet radiate from them. She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face. Your alien constitution, sweaty forehead, and beads there, and your heavy breathing.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
She stops mid-sentence. I'll handle it. It's under control. This invasion will be my masterpiece. The one they remember me by, I promise.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile, you have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
She gives you a slight bow.
Good.
Lieutenant
You have not
returns.
passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now?
You needn't have worried. That was freaking insane, Kim. Right, let's get to work, Lieutenant. It was pretty insane.
Yes, well,
He thinks.
the rest of us have dealt with it for thousands of years, so...
He looks around a little uncomfortable now. You have to deal with it too, the lieutenant thinks. This is why I didn't want you to know. Let's get to work.
Good luck, detectives.
She nods you goodbye. Well, that was very interesting. I mean, why was he... I don't know why he got uncomfortable about it. Okay, we got some skill points. We can save this for things we want to skill check later. We have been thinking about these. We have 2 hours left on our precarious world thought. Okay.